Okay, so we will continue with our Kevalashtakam, that what we have started. Today we'll take text 6, so before that we'll sing it. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। मधुरं मधुरेभ्योऽपि मङ्गलेभ्योऽपि मङ्गलम् पावनं पावनेभ्योऽपि हरे नामेव केवलम् हरे नामेव केवलम् आब्रह्मास्तम्भपर्यन्तम् सर्वं मायामयं जगत् सत्यं सत्यं पुनः सत्यं हरे नामेव केवलम् हरे नामेव केवलम् सगुरो सपिता चापि समता बन्धवोऽपि सः शिक्षये चेत् सदा स्मर्तुं हरे नामेव केवलम् हरे नामेव केवलम् निश्वासे नाहि विश्वासः कदा रुद्धो भविष्यति कीर्तनीयमतो बाल्यात् हरे नामेव केवलम् हरे नामेव केवलम् हरि सदा वसेत् तत्र यत्र भागवता जनाः गायन्ति भक्तिभावेन हरे नामेव केवलम् हरे नामेव केवलम् अहो दुःखं महादुःखं दुःखतरं यतः काचार्थं विस्मृतं रत्न हरे नामेव केवलम् हरे नामेव केवलम् दीयतां दीयतां कर्णो नियतां वचः गीयतां नित्यं हरे नामेव केवलम् हरे नामेव केवलम् त्रीणि कृत्या जगत् सर्वं राजते सकलोपरि चिदानन्दमयं शुद्धं हरे नामेव केवलम् हरे नामेव केवलम् हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Kevalashtakam ki jai. So today we're gonna see about the text 6. So we've been looking at from 1 to 5, and we have understood how it is sweet, how it is auspicious, and how it is purifying. Then we talk about how only material things are not important. Even if you become a Brahma, then still you cannot be happy. Then we spoke about who is our real mother, who is our real father, who is our real guru. And then we spoke about how death can come at any time and what kind of feeling that it has to give, how it has to improve our seriousness in spiritual life. And then in the fifth shloka, we have seen that how the Hari actually resides everywhere. Okay. But he actually specifically says that wherever my devotees chant the glories of my holy name, I'll be present over there. And today we will talk about the sixth text, Aho Dukkham. I'll just share. Aho dukham mahadukham dukha dukhataram yataha kachatham vismritam ratna hare nameva kevalam hare nameva kevalam. So what translation says, Aho, what a sorrow, what a great sorrow, more painful than any other misery in the world, mistaking it as a mere piece of glass, the people have forgotten this jewel. So what is that jewel? The holy name. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything. Now, dukkham means, it's sad, it's miserable. Mahadukkham means it's worse. And dukkataram yataha, that means it's the superlative, just like good, better, best. Now, this is the worst kind of misery that, what is that misery? Mistaking it as a mere piece of glass, the people have forgotten this jewel. So the holy name is like a diamond, okay? And what people have done? They thought it is just a piece of glass and they have ignored it. So that is the condition of our spiritual life now. So we have holy name, which is like a diamond, but somehow we do not appreciate it. So all of us have our own definitions and conceptions of what is fortune. Some think that wealth is fortune. Some think intelligence or learning or knowledge as a fortune. Some think that strength is a fortune, and some think that beauty is fortune. So we all have our own conception of what is fortune. Okay, someone who is rich and someone who is not beautiful, okay, he thinks richness maybe it is can be earned, but beauty is something which is fortunate thing. So I am not beautiful, so I am not fortunate. And some person who might be beautiful but they do not have money and they think I do not have money. If I do have money, then that is the fortunate thing I can have. So we all have our own conceptions of fortune based on our interests, based on our inclinations, and based on the backgrounds that we have. Based on that, we have our own definitions and conceptions about what is fortune. Similarly, we also have our own definitions and conceptions about what is misfortune. Suppose someone loses a hand, okay, and imagine that that is the person who is a surgeon. So if someone who is a surgeon who loses his hand, then his whole career is gone. And he feels that that is the most unfortunate thing that has happened for him. So if someone is an expert in something, then all that requires to make him as an expert, he feels that that is the fortune. If someone is a singer, okay, he is an expert singer, then he thinks whatever is required to become a great singer, if he has that, then he feels like he is fortunate. If he don't have that, then he feels like he is unfortunate. If someone is expert in cricket and he want to become a greatest cricketer, then he feels whatever it takes to become a great cricketer, if I have that, then I am fortunate. If I don't have that, I'm unfortunate. So, like this, we have all our own conceptions. Now, what is valuable for one person may not be all valuable for other person. The one who is a cricketer, okay, and the one who wanted to become a Miss India or Mr. India, then for them the important things are different. What is important for a cricketer may not be important for the person who wanted to be a beautiful person. So similarly, we also have our own misconception, our own conceptions about misfortune. So what one person thinks as misfortune, the other person may not think. So like this we have differences. But we have to understand that material life and spiritual life are not exactly same. So in material life, the progress means if I have what I want, then I feel that I'm materially progressing. I want a bigger car, bigger house. If I have a bigger car and bigger house and more bank balance, more money, more name, more fame, then I will consider that I am progressing. So in material life, progress means to have what we want. But in contrast to that, the spiritual life is progress means wanting what we already have. That means today we have our holy name, we have Krishna's deities, okay, we have the association of devotees. All of these things are there, but we do not appreciate their value. We do not appreciate what we have. We always look at outside, okay, I don't have this, I don't have that, I have to acquire this, I have to acquire that. So most of our focus is on the material things, going out of what we already have. So spiritual path is a process where we increase appreciation of Krishna's various manifestations. So if we have to know that whether we are growing spiritually or not, then what we have to think, that we have to think, are we appreciating different manifestations of Krishna? Are we appreciating the holy name? Are we appreciating the association of the devotees? Are we appreciating the darshan of the deities? Are we appreciating the prasadam that we are getting? So what we are doing, when we want to see when someone is materially progressed or not, we see how many cars he has, how many houses he has, how much money he has. But if we want to see someone who is spiritually progressing, then we have to see how much he's appreciating the different manifestations of Krishna. So spiritual growth means a process of increasing appreciation of Krishna's various manifestations. Now, generally when we go in front of deities, okay, what we do in front of deities, we actually offer obeisances, okay, we do the dandavat pranam. So the right spirit of actually doing the dandavat pranam is that, when you see Lord Chaitanya, when he saw Jagannath, okay, so he was waiting for Jagannath to have darshan. So, and then when he had the darshan of Jagannath, what happened? Before he wanted to, actually, when Lord Chaitanya saw Jagannath, he wanted to embrace Jagannath because he been waiting for his darshan. And when he saw him, before he go and embrace him, he actually fainted. Okay, so the emotion of the pure devotee is like that. When they see the Lord, they actually, with that ecstasy, they actually faint and they fall. So they faint and fall. But we are sadhakas. So when we see the deities, we don't get faint. So that is why at least we have to fall. So that is the right spirit of obeisances. So what is happening is, even the pure devotees, they actually chant the same Hare Krishna mantra only, what we are chanting. It is not that the pure devotees are chanting something different, but the appreciation for the holy name, the appreciation for the deities, the appreciation for the association, what they have is so much that they actually value it a lot. And because of that only, when they see the deities, when they hear about Krishna, they get into ecstasy. So today we do not have that kind of ecstasy. That is why they say, like, you cannot faint and fall, so at least you fall. So by falling, by offering dandavat pranam, by offering obeisances, what will happen? Some purification will happen so that we can start appreciating the different manifestations of Krishna. And later, we can also go to a stage of pure devotion. So when this verse talks about aho dukkham, maha dukkham, dukkha dukkhataram yataha. So it is talking about bad, worse, and worst thing. Okay. So let us say someone is a poor person and he's starving because he don't have money, and he's hungry and he's starving. Then we can say it is a very sad condition. But if someone is a wealthy person and because of carelessness he has squandered his wealth and he became poor and he is starving now, then we will say it is even more tragic. Because if someone is born poor, he's starving, then we can say it is sad. But someone who was wealthy, but because of his carelessness, he has thrown away all the money. Sometimes it happens. People, in the want of earning more money, they invest into some unstable shares and all, and they lose their money and they become poor, and they become, they're starving because there is no money to eat for food. So this is a very tragic situation. But imagine, even in the case of this people who actually squander their wealth, even their parents who give the wealth, they actually have some kind of legal deeds where they will say that, our children cannot withdraw more than this limit per year, because they want to give money, want to give property to their children, but they know that, they might squander all the money. So what they do, they put a limit so that they cannot waste all the money and they can survive. But sometimes, people give up their property to their children and they don't know that how to use it, and they just squander it all. So this is a very tragic condition. But more than that tragic condition, what it can be is, suppose parents are telling a child before they passing away that, oh child, oh son, I have kept all the treasury in this box. Okay. So you can use it whenever you want. And they have told him, they passed away. And this child actually forgot this thing. So that box of treasury is lying in his house, but he forgot what it is and he's not interested to open it and look it. So if someone asks, then say, maybe something is there, but I don't know. And he's starving. So first case is the person is poor and he's starving. That is okay, manage, understandable. Second case is that he was wealthy and he squandered all his wealth and now he is poor. So he's starving. So it is more tragic. But more than that is that, the person has the whole treasury and still he is starving. So this is our condition. Spiritually, we have a holy name. We have the opportunity to connect to Krishna through our sadhana and association. Even we have experienced little joy and peace while chanting and while associating with Krishna. But still, we forget that so much of spiritual fulfillment is available, and we start looking outside. We go for happiness and we try to get happiness from material things. So we know that holy name is there. We know that holy name can protect us. We know that holy name can give us happiness. But still, when the problem comes, when the things go wrong, generally we don't turn towards Krishna. We turn towards material things. And even if the holy name is present, the deities are present, devotees association is present, still somehow our mind feels that, happiness is not in spiritual advancement. Happiness is in something material. That's why we get so many distractions. So we look towards material things for happiness, and this is called as kachartham vismrutam ratna. That means diamond is available for us, but what we think, the diamond is not a diamond. It is just a piece of glass. That is what we think, and we go out to find the diamond. So this is actually most tragic condition that we have. So generally, if someone told about the diamond value every day repeatedly, then actually we can understand that, this holy name is actually a diamond. Otherwise, what will happen? We keep on thinking that, it is a piece of glass only, and we think the jewels can be found outside, not in the spiritual life. So just like, when a child is growing, okay, so when he is very small, if he finds a diamond, okay, then he thinks like, it's a colorful, colorful stone, so he starts playing it. So we actually, if someone sees that, someone is playing with a diamond, okay, and he doesn't know the value. If the child, let us say, sometimes, our children actually plays with a jewelry or diamonds like that, okay, if they find it, sometimes we put them on a bed and we forget to keep them inside, and our child may go and start playing with them. Then when we see that, he's playing with that, we actually get tense and nervous, and we wanted to tell him, it is very valuable, do not touch this, do not play with this and all. So similarly, the holy name, okay, about that holy name, we need to have philosophical education, okay, how important it is, okay, every day, how we have to appreciate it. We need to have that education, and to realize that education, the philosophy, we have to grow. Just like when a child playing with a diamond, okay, we can say to him, it is diamond, it is very worthy, do not play with him, play with this. But that moment he doesn't realize this. But as he grows, then he understands the value of a diamond. So similarly, today we have the holy name, but we think it is just like a piece of glass, because our appreciation for holy name is not so much. So what we have to do, we have to listen every day about the glories of the holy name. So we need to have the education about what this holy name can do to us. Okay, so we can have different subjects for learning. Okay, we might talk about different pastimes, we might talk about different philosophies, but every day we should also listen and read about the holy name. Otherwise, what will happen? Our mind has a default ability to degrade anything spiritual. So if we do not know the value of holy name, and if we are not spending time to know about the holy name every day, then what will happen? Our chanting will become a burden. So we'll start feeling like, oh, I have to chant for 2 hours. Okay, and it is so burdening. I'm been chanting from so many years, nothing is happening. And every day I'm chanting. Today I completed my 16 rounds, but tomorrow again I have to chant. So it starts looking a burden because we are not at all had the understanding what this holy name can do to us. Suppose if someone asks you to carry 20 kgs weight, okay, then your mind start feeling like, why I have to carry, can someone else carry it, why this work is given to me and all. Because carrying 20 kgs is burden. But imagine someone gives you 20 kgs gold to carry, and he says that whatever extra you carry, that you can take home. So 20 kgs you have to carry, and whatever extra you can carry, you can take that gold home. Then what we will do? We'll be excited to carry it. So 20 kgs is weight, okay, but it is not a burden. Why? Because it is a gold, and whatever extra I carry, I can take back home. So why we are excited to carry the gold but not the normal weight? Because we know the value of the gold and we appreciate the value. That is why even there is weight, it is not like a burden. We joyfully actually lift it. So similarly, if we appreciate the holy name, what will happen? This 2 hours of chanting actually becomes joyful, and we look forward to chant. It is not like we look forward to finish chanting, but we look forward so that we can chant more and more. So can someone say like, okay, if we appreciate chanting, that means we chant more number of rounds? Just like, some people may chant 64 rounds, 128 rounds. On the special days also we chant extra rounds. So is chanting extra round is the only thing that we have to do? No. Chanting extra rounds is okay, it's good. If we are able to chant some good number of rounds, that is good. But what is most important is that we have to bring quality into it. Right? So if we don't bring quality in our chanting, then what happens? Even if we are chanting 60 rounds or 64 rounds also, then what will happen? We are just looking forward to finish the target. Okay, but we are not bringing the quality, and that becomes burden. So for some time we can do it, but after that we will not feeling interested to do it. So whatever Acharyas has given us 16 rounds, we have to do it. If we can do extra rounds, that is good. But we have to make sure that we are trying to bring quality in our chanting. So we actually all waste time in different ways. Okay. But while wasting our time, we don't know that we are wasting time. Maya doesn't do direct attacks on devotees. So Maya, what it will do? It will say you are chanting about Krishna, but yeah, it's important, but it is not so important. So it is not so urgent. So you can actually postpone chanting. You can actually make not Krishna as the number one priority, but maybe it's second, third priority, you can make it. But you have many other things to do. So like that, it will start coming and talking to us. And because of that, what will happen? We will fail to bring quality. So Krishna is actually number one priority. But our mind will say that, Krishna is important, but he cannot be the number one priority. So what will happen over a period of time, if we don't hear about the holy name, if we don't try to bring quality in our chanting, then slowly our chanting will become the last priority. And over a period of time, we stop chanting also. So that is the reason we have to bring quality in chanting. So how can we bring quality in chanting? So by listening about the holy name, by remembering the association of devotees, by trying to remembering about the experiences that we had while chanting. Sometimes when we chant, we get an amazing experience, the kind of peace and joy we do not experience by doing something else. So that kind of experiences, we voluntarily have to remember them. So we may not have a point of concentration while chanting. Now, what is point of concentration means? As Prabhupada says that while chanting, we have to listen to the sound vibration. Okay. So whatever we are chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So when we are doing this, we have to listen to every word, every Hare, every Krishna, every Rama. We have to hear it. But what happens? We are not that much concentrated to hear about the every word. So our mind will go here and there. Sometimes the round will be completed and we will feel like I have not even heard one mantra also. I just chanted, but I did not hear. So we chant, we hear, then purification will happen, right? So this has to be the standard process. So since we are not purified, we are not having that much focus and concentration. So we may fail to have point of concentration, but we can have circle of concentration. So what is the circle of concentration? That we are not able to focus on the sound vibration, but at least we can start thinking about something related to Krishna. So if we try to focus only on the sound vibration, our mind may start wandering here and there. So what you do, you give some area to your mind to wander. Just like when the children are there, what we say them, they wanted to go out and play, but we know that it is not safe outside. So what we say, okay, तुम घर में ही खेल लेना. You just play in the house only. You can play in the hall, you can play in the bedroom, or like that we actually tell them. If we tell them do not play, just sit at one place, they will become like, distressed. So what we have to do, we have to give them the space to play. So similarly, we have to give our mind some space to go here and there. So we can think about Krishna's pastimes, devotees association, about the different experiences that we have. We can imagine the atmosphere of Vrindavan or Mayapur, or we can put our Hare Krishna Mahamantra in front of our eyes. So we are giving some chance mind to wander, but in the circumference of Krishna only. So like that, what we can do, we can actually increase our focus. So trying to appreciate the holy name by whatever we learned and heard about holy name will bring in quality. So imagine that, why it is important to bring a quality. So imagine that you are going and meeting a person, okay, and you've been talking with that person for 15 minutes, and at every second that person is showing off that he is not interested to meet you. So he's looking at the phone, he's looking here and there, and he's making sure that that he don't want to meet you. Then how it feels? You will feel like, if you don't wanted to meet me, why did you come to meet me? It's better you don't meet me. So similarly, when we are chanting about Krishna, if we are not focusing on Krishna, then what message we are giving to Krishna? That I don't want to meet you. I don't want to connect with you. So if we don't want to invoke Krishna's presence, then why we are chanting? We are chanting because we want to invoke Krishna's presence. And while doing that, if we are showing Krishna that I am not interested in you, I am interested in something else. I am interested in who said what to me. I'm interested in what has happened in the past. I'm interested in what will happen in future, but I'm not interested in you. So our mind, when it is wandering, what it is showing, that I'm not interested in you. So when we are not interested in Krishna, why we are actually invoking his presence through chanting, isn't it? So similarly, when a person actually shows us that he is not interested, then we will not be interested to meet him. Similarly, if we are trying to invoke Krishna's presence, but if we are not bringing quality in that, then we are expressing that we are not interested in Krishna. Then if we say like this, if we express like this, then how we will feel the joy and bliss in chanting? So that is why chanting becomes a burden. So we have to appreciate the mercy, for he is manifesting in his holy name. So Krishna has mercifully invested all his energies. He want to give himself through chanting. But if you don't bring the quality, what will happen? Rather than receiving him, we actually reject him. So in the field of environment, generally whatever environment we are into, okay, things might be little comfortable, but generally the appreciation of the holy name should not only happen when there is trouble. Sometimes when we are in trouble, we actually become more and more devoted. Okay, we start thinking about Krishna, we start praying to the Lord, right? To give me protection, to give me solace, to give me peace and all. But when the situations are going nicely, what we will do, we will not be able to focus on that. So there was a story of a soldier who was in the US Army, and he was given a job to deployment into Middle East because the war was going on there. So he was an initiated devotee. So that devotee went to Guru Maharaj and he asked, like, I got a deployment in Middle East, but I think it is all material, it is all political. So I want to quit my job. So then his Guru Maharaj says, no, no, it is your duty, you go. And he was actually hesitant to go because spiritual life is all and all. So why I have to go there and fight wars and all? But somehow his Guru Maharaj told, don't quit the job. So he went there. And during that environment where he was living, actually there was all the ambush attacks were going on. So anytime anyone can bomb in that area, so everyone was fearful. And that time the devotee actually, he wore the suit, he had his weapons and everything, and inside he was chanting the holy names. And when he came back from that war, he was expressing, he has shared his experiences in written. And the title of that particular literature is the wartime bhajans, the bhajans of battle actually. So what he told is, while I was in that war kind of environment, what I realized that the holy name is amazing, because everyone was tense about their life and they were not able to manage where to go, what to do. But I was able to manage everyone. So he was the lead in that particular battalion, and he was leading all the people in a proper escape from the ambush attacks and all. And all of them started asking him, like, in this war environment also, how can you be so calm and composed? And before he answered, that thing struck him, like, I was chanting holy name, and because of that I could get this calmness and this composure. So he actually experienced the value and the appreciation for the holy name when everything else was in danger. So he then people also got interested in knowing about the holy name and what he's doing and all. And that time he realized why his Guru Maharaj has sent him to the war. Because why didn't he said that, you just give up the job? Because through him many of the other soldiers got interested in Krishna consciousness. So during that time they used to have, just like house program we go, no. So they used to have a program over there, the katha and kirtan, in the even in the battlefield also. So people for entertainment they used to do something else, but this battalion was doing about the kirtan and bhajans. And even so much so that when they were going for the war, for the attack, now he used to tell everyone, like, you are not the body, you are the soul, and nothing can destroy you. So just go and fight the war. So he was inspiring them, even he was sprinkling the Gangajal on them and telling them, all the glories to you. So this kind of appreciation he had during the wartime. So the point over here is, when the dangers are there, it is a natural affinity that we start showing love towards Krishna, right? But actually what we have to do is, even when there is no danger, we have to appreciate the holy name. And that is an expression of selfless love. If something is danger is coming, need is there, anyone can come to Krishna. But even then, when there is no danger, when there is no need, and if we still choose Krishna, then that is called as suprasidati. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are two verses which actually talks about that what can actually completely satisfy the self. In the first canto, second chapter of the fifth verse, it is being said, when the Naimisharanya sages ask the question to Suta Goswami, then he says, Munayah Munayah sadhu prishtoham bhavadbhairlokamangalam yatkritah Krishna samprashno yenatma suprasidati. So what he's saying, O sages, I have been justly questioned by you. Your questions are worthy because they relate to Lord Krishna and so are of relevance to the world's welfare. Only questions of this sort are capable of completely satisfying the self. And in next verse, what he says, स वै पुंसां परो धर्मो यतो भक्तिरधोक्षजे अहैतुके अप्रतिहाता ययात्मा सुप्रसीदति. The supreme occupation of all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So today, our devotion is motivated and interrupted. And where we have to reach to a stage where our bhakti is unmotivated. It doesn't have any underlying desires. We might be saying outside that, we love Krishna, we actually want to serve Krishna, but inside we still have so many desires. So that is motivated bhakti. Okay. But what we want to have, unmotivated bhakti. And what kind of bhakti? Uninterrupted. Today, sometimes we chant, sometimes we serve Krishna, but in between we have our own business. We are separated from Krishna. But here, what we have to have, uninterrupted service towards Krishna. So uninterrupted means even though we are doing our household chores, our daily routines and all, still we are thinking about Krishna. Okay, so Krishna is never separated from us. So whether there is a danger, whether there is no danger, whether we need help, whether we need no help, every time we wanted to be with Krishna. That is called as ahaituki apratihata bhakti. And when we do that, we will have suprasidati. Yayatma suprasidati means the complete fulfillment for the self. So when we express a drop of selfless love towards Krishna, then he will give us his the ocean of love to us, and that will actually satisfy the thirst of the self. Whatever happiness we can find in the material things, that cannot quench our thirst. Only the ocean of mercy that Krishna has, that actually can quench our thirst. So Srila Prabhupada says that if we do not have Krishna consciousness, then we are unfortunate. If we have Krishna consciousness, then we are fortunate. We have Krishna consciousness, but we are not Krishna conscious, then we are most unfortunate souls. So if you do not have Krishna consciousness, I can say that you are unfortunate. But even after having Krishna consciousness, even after knowing that there is holy name, there is association, and if still we are not interested, then we are unfortunate people, right? So most unfortunate, not only unfortunate. So say even similarly, this verse also says the same thing. What it says, अहो दुःखं महादुःखं दुःखात् दुःखतरं यतः काचर्थं विस्मृतं रत्ना हरेर्नामेव केवलम् हरेर्नामेव केवलम्. So what we have discussed that there are different conception of fortune and misfortune. And the greatest misfortune is that we think holy name, which is a diamond, but is like a piece of glass. And what we are doing, we are not trying to bring quality in our chanting. We are not trying to appreciate the value of chanting. And this is the most unfortunate thing. So if we can start bringing quality by listening to the holy name, like, so we can start appreciating it and we can have the fulfillment for the self. And this verse talks about having the fulfillment of the self. And if you are not doing that, then it is aho dukkham, maha dukkham, and dukkha dukkhataram yataha. So let us not be most unfortunate people. Let us be the fortunate people, or let us be the most fortunate people by appreciating the holy name.